Hello, and welcome to the Modern Romantic Podcast, where we celebrate and inspire romanticism through passionate people who do incredible things. Hi, I'm always cooking up something good. Hi, I'm Trey. And always burning me with her intense heat of disgust for my puns
Oh
is
my
my
gosh.
co-host, Emily. Sorry, that was a little more intense
That
than I
was
meant.
really,
I'm so
yeah.
sorry.
Speaking of heat, I do not. My
No, she
goodness.
loves them. She serves them up with love. How are you doing, Emily?
It's all in good fun.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm recovering from a little gunk, the crud as they like to call it here in central Minnesota. But I'm doing good. I'm alive and I have a voice, so here to
Yay!
use it.
And we're glad.
Yeah. How about you?
Doing all right. Over the weekend, I got to see one of the carolers from A Christmas Carol. Their high school is not too far from me, so I went to go support them in their production of Guys and Dolls. And she, the person that was in the caroler group, she was playing one of the leads.
Awesome. The Josh commented, there was a great roast option there. We totally missed that opportunity.
You
It was like
know,
in the moment, you're like,
geez. Look, I can get in maybe one pun, but if you ask me for like several in a row, wrong person. Try somebody else.
yeah, I think it's like that element of being live too. Like if this was just us in a room, it would be nonstop. But because we're live, there's like this weird pressure thing. We like are aware of it. So
A little bit, yeah.
it's like I'm hyper aware of my hand doing this weird thing over here.
You mean this thing?
Yeah, this Muppety thing.
You've been playing with the puppet too much.
I have, yeah.
But yeah, overall, it's been a really good week. I passed my last class for this certificate course I'm doing, and so I'm on my last course. So woohoo!
Woohoo! Now
Yeah.
I'm on to fun things, right?
Yes, upcoming auditions and more theater. But that I think that pales a little bit in comparison to our guest today. So would you introduce our fantastic guest for tonight?
Absolutely. Today we have the Lucky Cajun seasoning guy here. We've got him on as Blackwell Smith. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me, guys. How y'all doing?
Doing all right. How about yourself?
Great.
I'm wonderful. I was just watching a silly show before this.
What silly show?
That's a great lead in.
It's called Monarch, Legend of Monsters.
I have
It's
not
about
heard of this.
it's on Apple, and it's about like Godzilla and all this kind of stuff, but in this kind of modern take on it and backstory, and it's got I think it's Kurt Russell in it. It's pretty interesting. It's
Huh.
good. I normally don't like TV, so when I find something that I like, I'm kind of like, okay, let's do this. I'm just gonna watch it. Right.
I'm gonna have to. I want to look this up. I've never even heard of it. Have
I
you,
hadn't
Trey?
either.
No, I've never heard of it. But apparently there are 2 seasons of it already.
There
So
are 2 seasons of it.
And Kurt Russell. What? Yeah.
Right? He's in
You'd
it.
think I would have heard
You
of
know,
it.
that's always fun, right?
So,
who's Swan? Sorry.
I'm not gonna spoil any of it. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you anything.
Darn.
It's on
Man.
Apple TV though. If anybody needs to know, it's on Apple TV. I just looked it up.
It's fun. It's enjoyable.
That's
Okay.
awesome. So I think my biggest question for you, because we introduced you as coming from the Lucky Cajun seasoning,
Mhm.
I am very curious for our listening audience to hear, how did you arrive at the Lucky Cajun seasoning?
Okay, well, it's my business. And so, okay, I grew up in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I ended up going to high school in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And
Okay.
I ended up noticing there's a big difference in the food.
Oh yeah.
Because when I go to my friend's house, I'll be like, what is this? What's going on here? So I fell in love with the tastes, right? That was something that happened pretty quickly. And eventually I went to culinary school, and basically Cajuns taught me how to cook. So the name of the company is basically naming after the people that taught me how to cook. Plus it's also a Cajun seasoning, pretty much where it started. And So that's kind of how it came about, at least the name. Yeah.
Very nice. And I love that you said that it's the people who taught you how to cook. What specifically about their cooking, like, made you fall in love with that style of cooking?
I, it's just the taste of it. Like this really rich and savory, and it's it's almost like it's really approachable. At least Cajun food is. It's really approachable, and it's kind of home style kind of food. And so it wasn't like it was weird. It wasn't like a weird new thing. It wasn't like it was more just like, wow, this is like the best beans I've ever had. This is the best chicken I ever had. And then as I learned more about it, I was like, I'm just gonna end up going to culinary school. I mean, I always loved food, so there was always this like hand element thing that I liked, but I was just like, well, let's just do it. There was pressure to go do something too, because I was, I was kind of a, wayward youth kind of person. I didn't know what I wanted. Had no clue.
I'm going to ask you to myth bust here for a moment.
What's up?
To some people who maybe haven't been very familiar with Cajun cooking or seasoning, just assume that some people assume that just means hot.
No.
And it's not. Can you explain that?
Okay, so it's kind of one of those things where a lot of people, there's a lot of Cajuns that like spicy food. There's a lot of people, but there's a lot of Italians that like spicy food. There's a lot of like Latino people that like spicy food. It doesn't mean that all Italian food is spicy. It doesn't mean that all Mexican food or Latin food is spicy. It just means that there's shades. There's always going to be this chili element because it's like part of it, like the cayenne, and it's there. It's ever present, and it adds its flavor, but it's not necessarily the main thing. I think what happened is probably somebody made some kind of Cajun dish, and then they added a bunch of Tabasco to it or something, and they gave it to their friend, and it was overly hot, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we made some Cajun food," and it's like, well, and then it ruined it for them, right? When it's more about being rich and savory and delicious first, and having well-developed flavors, and then the heat element is there to kind of like carry it through, the whole feeling through, and that's kind of my take on it.
Okay, that's fair.
Like
yeah, because you want a good balance more than you want the heat to overpower everything.
Well, I think it's there. I think it's all a matter of taste. It doesn't have to be hot, but it doesn't mean it's right or wrong if it's hot or not. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. I think for me, like, we're not trying to go for the wild ones or the hot ones where they're trying to get so explicitly hot. It's just enough to get a little bit of some flavor to it, but not so much that you burn your taste buds.
And but I think that sometimes that is associated with it, like that sort of like, how hot can we be kind of thing can be associated with certain types of cuisines. And Cajun has fallen victim to that sort of labeling, I think, for sure.
So what is there a particular blend of spices, without giving your own secret recipe away?
I'll give the recipe away. It's on the bag. You can't miss it. Like, you have to put all the ingredients on the bag that's just the rules.
Yeah.
That's fair in case someone's allergic to something
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would be like a standard set of spices that a person could find in a truly Cajun dish?
So your basic kind of Cajun seasoning is cayenne or some kind of red pepper, black pepper, garlic, herbs, and salt. Like that's your really basic like Cajun seasoning. Now you can kind of go but I've gone kind of more. I believe that like you can still be true to being Cajun seasoning, but having more ingredients adds greater depth and it makes it more interesting, I think.
Okay. So say for instance, you're making, I'm really putting on the spot here. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You're not.
So say you're making a version of spaghetti, but you want to put
Okay.
a Cajun twist on it. Like, what type of spices would you add to that to really give more of a Cajun twist?
This does sound like a test.
Well,
I
the thing is that it's like every. This is what's interesting about food is every, and spaghetti is a good version of that because, like, for example, I'm not trying to not answer your question. I'm trying to say that this is
no.
interesting part of food is that every culture dishes that they cook has some kind of outside influence that brings it around. Because if you think back that nobody's influenced anything, then we would just be eating bugs, right? So over time, we shared these different ingredients. So we shared all these different stuff. So we shared, imagine Japanese cuisine without soy sauce, or
Right.
Thai cuisine without chilies, or even like American food without potatoes. I mean, if we hadn't have done that, if we hadn't traveled and shared things with people, then we wouldn't have the things that we have today. So now, I guess you would just make spaghetti, and then you would use Cajun seasoning as your flavor component. But that doesn't mean that there isn't somebody that's like Cajun that didn't have a Italian grandma that made like your kind of like Southern Italian tomato sauce, and somehow incorporates that all into the whole cuisine. So it's not necessarily, it's hard to even say it's not that there's a correct or incorrect way to make a Cajun twist. It's this Cajun seasoning kind of goes through all of it. Think of it as all purpose seasoning. Think of it as it's everywhere. It's ubiquitous. It's like you can't do it without it.
No, that's a great answer.
All right, cool. Good. I'm glad I got a good answer out of there. But I think that's what's really interesting. I think that people get like pizza is a great example of that. It's like you basically have created the greatest food of all time, right? It's a big flat bread with stuff on it, and every culture, almost not all cultures in the world, but lots of them have taken that thing and done all sorts of crazy stuff with it. Like, why they put ham and pineapple on it. Italians get crazy mad about that stuff. They get, right? Because they're like, well, this is the way it's done. But if you also look back, it's like, well, at some point, Italians didn't have tomatoes. So like, what is authentic and what is original? I think when we talk about authentic, I think we talk about what we are familiar with and what maybe was passed down from like our grandparents, because that's like the oldest we know back is grandparents, right? So whatever their thing is to us is authentic, because it's as far as most people generally go, right? Is that fair?
I would say so.
And they probably got it from their grandparents and so
Right.
on, too.
And so it's a story. There's a story. Food is a story for sure.
So you went to culinary school, and at some point that turned into, I must have my own seasoning. How did that evolve?
Okay, so here's how it evolved. I went to culinary school, Baton Rouge. I learned how to make Cajun seasoning in its most basic form. And then over the years, I added things and I subtracted things and I tried different stuff, and it evolved. And eventually we kind of got to this point, go back a few years to COVID. Remember that? Remember COVID?
Yeah.
And
we were born of COVID.
We were right out. And so was our seasoning company, because I was sitting around going, what the hell am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
Like, I'd had inkling. I had wanted to do it, but then it was like, well, now there's no reason not to do it. Just like, what else? Let's just do it. And the launch point of that was my son started asking for that seasoning that I made on food. And he had never asked for that before. He'd always asked for like, I want chicken, or I want pizza, or I want mac and cheese, that kind of thing, right? It wasn't a specific flavor. And so that struck me as odd, because it was like the first time that had happened. And Picky Kid and Picky Chef Dad both liking the same thing it just makes you take note. And so that's where the recipe stopped. I stopped messing with it then. And That's what our original blend is the Black Label blend. Yeah,
Does
there
he
we
Interesting
still
are.
story.
does he still ask for it?
Yes, and he cooks now. He's not. I don't think he's going to be like a chef person, but he likes to cook and he enjoys it. I think. Yeah.
Very
What's
nice.
his current specialty dish?
Him.
Hmm?
He likes pork chops. He likes pork. He likes spicy pork chops. So we make this blend called Bulgasari, which is the Cajun Korean mashup. But that could be another. We could talk about that. But it's basically like the Black Label with ginger, shiitake, Korean chili flake, red jalapeno, and it's kind of got this really unique flavor that goes great with like fatty meats like pork or salmon or beef, burgers or chicken thighs, stuff like that. And he just, yeah, he likes to sear it up with throw the seasoning on there and sear it up in the pan, and it's like his thing. He likes rice. He also likes ramen noodles. I'm trying to get him to be more like try other things, but he tries other things. He's becoming more open to stuff, which is fun for sure.
That's
That must be
awesome.
really cool to watch.
It is cool to watch because it's cooking is kind of something you can't really substitute for anything else, and there's so many people out there that can't cook, which is I find real. I just like can't even. It to me like not being able to cook is like not being able to read. Like it's like it's essential. It's essential life skill to feed yourself. So I mean, I'm not trying to criticize. I'm not trying to criticize anybody else. I just don't understand that because I guess because I someone taught me how to cook at a young age. I was in kitchens cooking, and I just can't imagine not being able to do it. That would be weird.
I, I did have somebody. I did have somebody in high school legitimately burn soup, and if you're wondering how you burn soup, she had left it on the stove so long that it ignited on her
It,
Oh
stove.
my
and
gosh.
so it just completely dehydrated and then just caught on fire.
That's a long time.
What happened? She wasn't paying attention. She
I,
needed a timer.
I
Yeah, timer. Yeah.
You know, I think somewhere after the flames erupted, she stopped thinking about how it got to that point. So
Yeah.
now she just says, "I burned soup and almost caught my kitchen on fire."
So what is so? Does that mean that she refuses to cook now?
Essentially, yes.
Well,
Oh,
I know.
you
See,
got to get back on the horse.
that's just that's such a. It's such a. I hear all kinds of little weird stories like not like that. That's the extreme version, but I think that's a lot of reasons why people don't cook is because they had some sort of fail, and then they're like, "Well, I can't do it." Well, nobody learns how to do everything. You don't. I didn't. Wasn't born with the ability to cook. I had to mess up. That's how you learn. You mess
Yep.
stuff up. You break it, and then you
It-
learn how to fix it, and then that's when you develop the skill. I think.
right. It's one of those things too where like when you're like a starving college student and you don't have a lot of money for food, you're
Mhm.
terrified because that means you could be stuck eating that thing for the rest of the week because that was all the money you had toward food that week. And so you kind of have to like you kind of have to suffer through it a little bit if you're in that position. So when you're messing up food, I do kind of understand how you would uh, a little afraid of messing it up again. I remember when I first got to the point in my life where I had enough money to experiment with food, and I would allot myself a budget every week of, okay, if I'm going to try a new recipe, it's this much money toward wrecking a dish. And I wrecked some, yeah. But I heard a quote recently that I want to share that kind of it relates to what you said, and that was um, if you knew that you were 3 failures away from success, how fast would you fail?
Yeah, I love that.
Ooh.
I like that
Yeah,
kind of thing. Like because that's you're only yeah you're just one. What's the thing that you actually need to learn to get it right?
right.
I don't
Y-
know what that is. You don't know,
But you'd try to knock it out as fast as you could.
right?
You wouldn't let it hold you back. You'd be like, "Oh, it's only 3? Oh, yeah,
So
let's
three.
go."
Let's just. I'm gonna mess three things up
Mhm.
today.
Yeah,
Okay, we're gonna break stuff now.
right. Josh in the chat said, "First time riding a bike, everyone falls until you figure it out a little at a time. Cooking is the same."
Yes, it is. Or learning how to speak. Like what you just keep doing it till you get it. You just
I
keep going.
I once cooked for some friends of mine who came over, and I remember making this using a crock pot to make pulled chicken.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah.
Threw it in there, threw it in with a bottle of teriyaki, just a marinade or whatever, and like, yeah, that's good. That bottle was so saturated with sodium. That stuff came out so salty. And they, that is the first time in my life that someone looked me dead in the face and goes, wow, this is flavorful. And I went, oh no, this is awful.
Ah, that's wonderful.
Right, and so this is something else that we have figured out. Like you're actually talking about two different things that we figured out. Like if you cook a lot, chances are you cook a lot of chicken because it's America's like that's what most people cook. And then the other thing is that when you're cooking, there's this risk. Like there's the risk that you're going to burn it and you're going to ruin it, and it's not going to be edible. But if you're cooking for other people, that risk is a social risk, and
Mm-hmm.
it's intimate because you're smelling it, you're just putting it in your mouth, like it happens inside your body. So it's not just like, well, that pun was stupid. It's not that. It's like it's
Yeah,
intimate. You're
it
supposed to be
is.
sitting down together at a table and enjoying the thing, and then here's the moment of truth. Does it taste good or does it not? And so what I realized was, so this is all important because like we were trying to figure out what causes somebody not to experiment. And so what we realized was we need to teach skills instead of recipes in our YouTube thing. And because recipes are just ingredients plus skills organized in a specific way
Yeah.
for a specific outcome. So if you take a recipe and you don't understand it and you don't have the skills to pull it off, then that's when it gets ruined. And it's not because you can't do it or the recipe's bad or the meat's bad. It's just you didn't. There's chances are you just didn't have a skill, and maybe your skill with your teriyaki chicken was you didn't taste the teriyaki sauce before you put it in. You didn't know what was going on. You just were throwing stuff in a pot and hoping for the best. So then, but you learned something.
Yeah,
I hope so.
I definitely
you
learned something.
you learned, and so I think that's it's just skills. It's just skills. It's not like one skill. It's not like this one cooking skill. It's a set of things that come together to create great food.
I would agree. I think it's partially going to take this in a slightly different direction and
Okay.
say there's so much extra context. So in recipes, sometimes they add things like wait until it's browned and then they'll add a picture below it. And so it's giving a little bit of some context of what color this is supposed to look like. So when
Right.
I say something should be browned, and my definition of brown is like 3 shades lighter than someone else's brown, then it may give you a wildly different thing. So my gripe with some recipes that I find online is not giving that context. They write just the bare bones steps, but then their ingredients or their final product looks so much more delectable than what I turn out because something was missing along that way because they assumed that I knew something before I got to the end of that. It,
And then there's this other thing. It's called food photography, where everything that they make is fake. It's not even real food. So
Mhm.
like you're not even like that's the other thing. Like we don't have in our cookbooks we don't put pictures
Okay.
because like
Oh,
it's not real. It's not a realistic outcome. It's kind of like it goes back to that idea of food porn. It's not real. It's not the real thing. It's not even like you can't. It's not even edible. It's just made to look ridiculously pretty. Now that doesn't mean there aren't people out there that are wonderful chefs that make incredibly beautiful food that is completely 100% edible. Just saying that in that realm of the blog or the whatever. I mean, you can also use AI to make like pretty decent food pictures now. You don't even need to really do that, but it's not real. A lot of what you see is fake. So don't take it personally. So don't be like, man, I suck. Well, no, they're lying. They're lying with their fake food pictures.
Yeah, how many times have you gone and ordered a burger? You know it's not real.
It's not right. You're not gonna. You see the commercial, and there's like, oh man, look at that thing. It's giant. Look at all this juicy tomatoes, and you get it. It's like stuff coming out the side, and it's like, what happened?
Although shout out to the real bloggers and the real cooks and chefs and people out there that are photographing their own stuff, and it is real.
Yeah.
I prefer real.
It is because it's like what it's. I don't know. I mean, I understand why they do it. I understand from like a business or perception point of view, but I don't think it's necessary.
No, I don't either.
I don't think
anyone's gonna go, oh, that's too real.
That's too real.
That's too real.
It's not.
It's setting right expectations.
It's setting the reasonable expectation. And then the other thing is that like cooking cooking is turned into a sport. It's a competition. Everything's a competition. This, a competition that. And I just, some people that just turns people off because they just don't want to. This like I just want to be able to cook. I don't want to have to like compete to cook. Yeah. Why is like that's a weird idea. Think about it. It's like art is a competition. Like that's weird.
Yeah, it is.
It's like, well, my drawing's better than your drawing. We're gonna vote on it. And I'm the winner. Like what is that? That's weird. And so, but the other side of that is that some of these people, you think about them as they're professional chefs and they are way more skilled. And that's the same thing as like maybe a professional athlete, going and being awesome at whatever they do. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't go for a walk because they're an awesome football player. You know what I mean? Like you can still engage in some sort of physical activity. It just may not be at that level of excellence or proficiency or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Yet.
Yes, you could. Yeah, you could get great.
Exactly.
You just keep doing it.
Right. Well, and that's what go ahead, Trey.
I'm so sorry. We keep doing that. Go ahead.
No, I'm going to go on a tangent.
Go on a tangent.
Okay. That's what I love about your YouTube channel, because you make these things accessible to some of us who don't always know like how to make the perfect omelet or how to not ruin fries and things like that. You have these videos that are tips on how to make things better that maybe you didn't know the tricks to no more dry chicken breast. That's one thing that was one of the first things I ever Googled when I decided at one point in my adult life that I wanted to be better at cooking. I never had a good grilled chicken.
So a thermometer really helps when cooking because it just does because like chefs get it. Like when you do something over and over and over and over again, you don't need those measurement tools as much anymore. You can do it kind of by feel and by touch and by hand. And but if you do use it, like so I've gotten in the habit of using it again because I'm trying to like think about it from someone's perspective that doesn't cook. I'm trying to reverse engineer what I know into a way that's digestible, pun intended. And so
that's a good one.
Like I just to make it where it's usable because sometimes cookbooks and stuff like that, it's not. I don't know if that's even for the person reading it or if it's to glamorize the chef for being the creative genius that they are, making this beautiful art. That not that doesn't have value, but like a cookbook to me feels like it should be utilitarian. It should be something that like you can learn from and process and get better at whatever you're cooking. At least that's my approach and my thinking.
Well, yeah, and the fact that you do make it digestible and accessible. These are things like I'm not kidding you. I literally Googled how to stop.
I told you that's what I did.
Making dry chicken. Yeah.
It's one of the most Googled like cooking things.
I bet.
And it's so there's all the information, for as far as for me, It's really easy to find what people are um, in need of learning how to do. And if I can just step back and try to figure out how to pass on what I know about it without overcomplicating it, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep doing that until people like trust me. Trust and awareness, right? Of what I do and what I am and how we approach things.
Well, it's very nice. I love that you're doing that, and that's also a nice excuse me, like a nice segue for you into. And when you're cooking, you could also use my seasonings.
That's what, yes, it's to show expertise and it's to add value. Kind of the online thinking is that if you can create value and you can show somebody how to do something and you can show them how to use the product that you're selling without like really selling them the product, you just show them how to do it. There's that element of goodwill. There's the element of, hey, this works. Like if this guy can like do this and break this down for me like this, maybe fresh ground seasonings are better than old stale stuff that you get at the store. You see that? I just plugged it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that for sure. Well, I grow my own paprika.
Hey, that's awesome.
Grind it myself because all it takes is once and you are ruined. You have to then. Or like fresh ground anything. Just like fresh fish versus frozen. There's all kinds of
like it's the same thing. I think the best example, at least for seasoning, is fresh ground black pepper. Because everybody knows that.
Yes.
Like everybody is aware that fresh ground black pepper tastes better. So now what if we just took everything that's in the seasoning and ground it up fresh? So then we got these huge amplified flavors. And so I don't know if I ever got to send y'all any seasoning.
I don't think so. Well, unless it's on its way, I don't know.
No, I don't know if I ever got like your shipping address. I need to send y'all seasoning.
We would love to. You
need to do the seasoning
so much.
You need to have the seasoning. So just share your all's shipping address whenever on the email or whatever. Later.
Yeah, we'll do that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I can't wait to put them on fries. I saw the recommendation, and I also saw it to like double fry your fries, and I was like, hold up, what? And so kept reading. I can't wait to try them out on some fries.
Do it. I mean, fries is kind of like is this great place to try any kind of flavor because it's kind of a blank canvas. It's like, it's crispy and you understand this can handle salt. And it's hot and it's got the fluffy center and you just do whatever you want with it. You can put whatever you want on those things.
Truffle oil.
You could do that too.
So good.
You have some bestsellers, and those are like your top seasonings. What are those?
They're on the top of my head. It's the Black Label. It's our Greek Out, which is Mediterranean herb blend, and then the Bulgasari, that one I was talking about with the Cajun Korean mashup, and then the other one is Taco Tuesday. And so that is one that people are so surprised about because I go, this Taco Tuesday is kind of silly. It's kind of like. It's kind of some kind of dumb because it's just like this taco seasoning, but it's not. It's all the characters in the taco packet that you get at the store, but like really good actors. They're like they're doing it. Yes, it's not. Yeah, and it's in the flavor of it is really quite. It's more versatile than just like tacos. Like we ended up putting it on all kinds of grilled meat, so it's kind of turned into this barbecue rub. It's great on like grilled corn. It's also a great base for chili, like beef and bean chili. Maybe I'll just send you all the best sellers.
And I bet it's not like your store-bought McCormick mild taco package. This is fresh ground.
Right. And so that goes back to that whole thing. It's like it has to be when you do that right, when you do it right. Okay, I'm not trying to say that I'm like the best spice seasoning recipe guy in the world. That's not what I'm going to say.
You might as well.
I'm going to say that our process is the best.
Okay.
We process it because you're not losing anything. We're not having to add, cheap ingredients like sugar and flavor enhancers and like anti-caking agents, all this stuff that just like isn't really essential to flavor. We don't mess with it because we don't need to. You don't have to. It doesn't. It just tastes good. I mean, there's plenty of science to back this up. Like, I don't even have to. There's. I mean, I don't have like an exact, study like the study in 1945 or whatever. I don't know any of that, but I've read online like there's plenty of like universities that study that the compounds deteriorate significantly over the course of like 6 months, to where they're just like a shadow. Yeah. So when if you look on any of your seasoning at home, like when was it made?
Right.
When was it ground?
Yeah, go through your mom's
You're never gonna
spice
find
cabinet, and some of those seasonings are like 20 years old because she
right.
barely used whatever. I'm trying to think of something she barely used. And I remember like some of the spice jars we had in there, like my entire childhood, it was the same spice jar. Like we didn't get a new one because she never used the whole thing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's crazy. So people think they know seasoning. So people's experience isn't even like the real thing. It's like people think they're getting like something really good at the store, but it's really just something else that's repackaged. It's the same thing as something else that's right next to it. It's not like there's all these different companies that make all these different spice blends. There's co-packers, and the co-packers all make the seasonings kind of the same way, and then they put a different label on them, and it's not as interesting and as varied as you think it is. And I'm not trying to give them a hard time. That's the kind of the system that they came about in, is being able to sell your product in the grocery store is how you could have a business. But now that we have social media and websites, I figured that if people can bake bread every day, that we can grind seasoning a lot. We actually have a born on date. So we have a date when we ground the spices. So when I made them. And seasoning's never really going to go bad. Like spices are never going to be in a place where they're dangerous or harmful or going to hurt you. You just lose those unique compounds that make them special. They just disappear, they die. I think
does some of it come back if you like heat it up? Like I've heard of blooming it in a pan or something.
You can bloom it, but it's just not. Once the oils are kind of deteriorated in so they're it's like it's stale. You know what I mean? Like it's stale. It's not. You're not gonna rebirth it. It's not. You just end up adding. You're just gonna have to add more.
It's not like adding water. It's not like rehydrating.
You're not going to rehydrate it. No, there's like it's volatile. Like it's oxidized. Like oxygen, moisture, heat, sunlight, all those things are the enemy of the flavor once it's ground. Now, if the whole spices will hold flavor for years. As long as they're dry and not in light and not high moisture or high humidity. It'll hold the seasoning, the whole seeds will carry the flavor for years. It's just when you crack them open, that's when like they're released, and you can either cook with it or you can put it on a shelf for 20 years. But it is because people think, well, when somebody says I have a cabinet full of seasoning, you know what I think? I was like, you have a cabinet full of stale shit. You have a cabinet full of like junk. And it was like, it's not old. I was like, did you grind it? It was like, no. It's like, well, then it's old. It's not. If you don't know when it was ground, then you don't know when it's ground.
Right.
Years ago. At least months ago. Probably at least 6 months to a couple of years. Easily.
Before it even like got to the store, and then somebody purchased it, and so that's been almost a year since that thing was ground at that point.
I don't know. I mean, there's no way of knowing. Like are these spice manufacturers that build the seasonings, are they getting their spices ground? Are they even grinding them? So like they might just be getting stuff that's already
It's already in a powder
Nobody
form or
knows.
something.
Like
Yeah.
there's no way to keep track of it. It's like there's no quality. There's no. So that's why we wanted to do the born on date, because it's like got this. Some people ask, "Oh, it's expired." I was like, "No, that's when I made it." It's like that's when we ground it up. That's why it smells and tastes like it does.
Mm.
And so that's kind of where we're trying to. It's that unique product differentiator kind of thing. Like, how are we different than what else is out there? And that's really the big difference.
Yeah.
I mean, everything else is. I mean, it's basically the same thing. It's just at a different level of.
It's like if I can vouch for this because I have ground many of my own seasonings, but it's also like for anybody who hasn't tried that, it's probably you might have experienced fresh ground coffee. If you buy like the Folgers that's already ground in the store and you're making coffee out of that versus you go and buy the beans and you grind them up and then make your coffee, that coffee is a different experience.
It's completely different.
Yeah.
It's like a whole. It's better. It tastes better. But then I also think that some people. I think that some people don't maybe taste it. I don't know if everyone tastes the same way. I mean, that's something I've learned is
Yeah.
when I'm sampling these things with people, everyone has a different experience. Like everyone says different things, and it makes me really think about what is it? Is this something that's developed? Is it something that we inherit through our uh, what we grow up eating, or is it something that like we're born with? I don't know, but I think it's all different. And then I also think people eat for different reasons. So there's, the people that eat just because they're like, well, I got to survive, so I'm going to eat. And there's people that like to,
Who are they?
that, eat for
No shade.
pleasure. And then there's people, there's all different there's people. So everyone's having a different type of experience. Everybody's having a different type of food experience.
That's true. That's true. Like my dad has that thing where cilantro tastes like soap to him. But to me, it's like the freshest summer flavor.
Right.
So I love
What is
it.
that all about?
Yeah.
Where did it
Tastes
get
like
Yeah.
soap.
Does it? You
Soap.
think so too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
That's interesting. So that's such a right. It's like, where is that? What is that about? Is it
Yeah, it's like,
biological or is it
genetic.
just something right?
I read that it's a genetic thing. I'm glad I didn't inherit that.
Right.
I'm really glad.
Be eating soapy salsa.
Oh,
Oh yeah. Oh really? Like
don't-
pico is so good.
Trey's
I'm
like,
sorry.
man, stop. He's about to throw up. We're making it.
no.
It's like soap in his guacamole.
Oh, don't ruin
Oh,
guacamole
sorry.
for me.
I mean, but there's people that eat freaking soap.
Oh.
You
Well, I
know,
guess
like,
we do.
people
'cause
like
cilantro-
like people eat like they have like weird ticks where they eat like dishwashing soap. And stuff.
Yep. I think they call it pica.
I don't know.
What?
They must like
P-I-C-A.
They
You can
really
Google
like
it.
soap.
Y-
They don't just
you
like
can Google it.
cilantro. They like real soap.
P-I-C-A. Okay.
Yeah, it's where you like eat things that are you shouldn't eat, like dirt and
Oh yeah.
yes.
Soap.
Persistent
And so-
craving and consumption of non-food items.
Yeah.
Dirt, paint chips, ice, hair.
Hair?
That
Yeah,
is what came up in the short Google reviews, so that's not just me.
I don't want to eat hair.
pica or
Yeah.
pica. I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah. Yeah.
No.
And I have that thing where like bitter things are super bitter to me. So like coffee and I don't really get along. Or raw broccoli. Oh yeah.
Really?
Cooked broccoli is great. Raw broccoli, I will skip.
What happens?
It's just super bitter to me.
It's just like you can't, like you get it in your mouth and you're like, whoa.
It's like I don't understand how this is palatable to anybody.
Right. It's like soap.
Yeah. It's like soap. Yeah. It's super bitter. I don't know how else to
Interesting.
describe it.
So-
It seems to be that it's more bitter to me than other people seem to experience it.
Right? 'Cause
But
a lot of
there-
people love broccoli raw.
Yeah, I wish.
Is it the same thing for Brussels sprouts?
I do like Brussels
There's
sprouts.
probably somebody that's like Brussels sprouts are
But I don't eat them raw.
horrible.
Are you talking about raw?
Yeah. Like I truly don't know because
You can shave them up like with, you them come real small and like shave them, and people put them make salad, make raw salad.
They're like a cabbage.
Yeah, like a little baby cabbage. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else I think is so bitter that I don't eat
Coffee,
it.
like I drink my coffee black. Like I love black coffee.
How?
Congratulations.
I don't know. No, that's not what I'm just saying. Like it doesn't taste bitter to me. It doesn't like give. I don't get that like horrible. I just like to. It tastes like rich and roasty to me.
I'm jealous. Truly, because I would love to be in this world. I would be probably the best coffee snob out there. I would be like grinding my own beans by hand everywhere I go. I'd just carry a little grinder with me. Anyway, yeah, I just feel like I wish I could experience that, and I just I can't get past the bitter. But that's okay. Everybody else can have some for me.
Right.
There you go.
Do you drink tea or things like that? I mean, do you
Mhm.
have some sort of, so you have some kind of caffeine thing?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Josh in the chat said, agreed on the black coffee. Don't put that creamer crap anywhere near me.
Hey, that's right, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Look, all I have to say is I do actually make homemade creamer. I cannot have coffee, but I do make homemade creamers at home for other people, and they tell me they're pretty good, and they're not lying to my face, I promise you. So, I mean,
They better not.
just saying.
I was wondering
See,
why
look
you
at
made
you. You got this all. It's right. So you went from like over salted teriyaki chicken to like the creamer master.
Oh.
I now know also how to bake, so I have learned a few things.
That's awesome. Baking is fun. If you, it's hard. Baking to me is harder than cooking because you have to be. It's more scientific. It's like it's very exact. If you don't have it
That's what they say.
within that like range of just slight variation, you can end up with stuff that's inedible
You can.
and embarrassing.
I believe it's, you know what? Baking to me is just like cooking, where it's about learning how to do it right. It's like learn the rules so you know where to break them.
Oh, yes, this is
Because they say baking is so exact like that. I've heard that a dozen times, but it really is about knowing where you can bend that to be your own.
true. Right, like
You know?
knowing how to look at a recipe and go like, oh yeah, this works, or hey,
Mhm.
they're missing something.
Yeah.
I see that. Yes.
And Josh said, yeah, baking was rough. You don't know if you screwed up until it comes out of the oven. That's true.
Yeah, I'm also going to say there have been some delightful accidents. Like, I can't even think of one right now. My brain is thinking of a million other things. But on the baking front of things, I think for me the difference was with baking, I would so strictly follow the recipe. But when it came to cooking, I'd heard that cooking was so much more experimental. So I would just not use a recipe. But then also I didn't know what I was doing. So that's kind of why
Teriyaki.
teriyaki. And that's how I wound up with too salty teriyaki. What I've learned is, yeah, to Emily's point, follow the recipe, but over time you learn where you can kind of bend it and twist it to be your own.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also follow the recipe for the base guidelines, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, till
So
you
you
get
can
it
know how to
down.
do it.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of that, when people must come to you and say, how do I do what you do? What do you say?
Like as a career situation.
Yeah, or like, how do I make
okay,
my
so
yeah.
like cooking is a very interesting thing because I feel like there is a time limit on which you can cook professionally, where you get to the point where it's just too much physically to do every day, and you either have to have moved up into a position where you're not in the kitchen every day, or you have to move out. And so, because it's very demanding. You're in
As
there
a
all the
chef.
time. It's
Yeah.
in any restaurant situation, you are there. It's hot. It's sweaty. Everything is super fast paced. There is no, you don't get a break. Nothing's ever done. You're never like, hey, we're done. It's like each day is a new day, and there's more and more and more and more. It's never ending. So you have to be really committed. Like a lot of people end up going to culinary school and then they get in the kitchens and then they're like, this wasn't like what I saw on TV. It's like, well, no crap. What did you think was? What did you think we were gonna like? You still don't know how to cook, dude. Like, what do you think's going on? What do you think you? Who do you think you are? And so it's. I would say that if you're gonna do it, if you're gonna cook as a profession, I would say learn how. Find something that's interesting to you, or a dish, or something, and focus on that, and just become really good at that. So that when you get in the situation where that skill is indispensable, that's where you're going to have more value in the situation. If you are have a lot of different things and you do experiment with a lot of different things, and that's fine and all, but as a in the profession, it's best to be like focused. So like if you're going to bake, be the best damn baker you could be. Like don't mess around. Like choose, are you going to do sweets or savories? Choose your thing. Pick your poison. What is your so and learn as much as you can. So like a lot of what I learned how to cook was that magazine Saveur, the cooking magazine. I used to have a subscription to that, and I had it for like 15 years, and I would read it every month, and I would read about this thing and that thing, and I would say that taught me so much about food that was outside of my comfort zone, because it was like a way of reaching out to something that I wasn't going to be able to experience at that moment. It was a way to like learn something about a place or a dish or a tradition or a flavor or a ingredient that I was not exposed to in whatever environment I was in. And it really helped me. So I think the reading part is super important. Whatever, and that's for anything. Like whatever you're doing is like read or watch videos or something. Like don't just go, I got it. Like I still am learning. You know what I mean? I'm still learning how to do things. I'm still learning how to become better at like running a business and doing things to make a living and to enjoy my life.
It's like the Dalai Lama says. People call him teacher, but he is the perpetual student.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not learning, like I learn stuff all the time. So, for example, let's say when you make a seasoning, let's take our jerk seasoning for example. Mm-hmm. I made it because I love jerk chicken. And I'm like, hey, we're gonna have this fun jerk seasoning. We're gonna call it What a Jerk. And you sell it to people, and then they come back and buy more, right? And then they tell you all these different ways that they used it without. I didn't ever know. Like I didn't ever think of using it in these ways. So that's one of the beauties of doing this thing in front of people is that I learned about things about my seasoning because I kind of got people to like do research for me, and they're excited to come tell me because they're like, oh, hey, I use it on this and this and this. And I didn't. So I'm learning stuff all the time, even about my seasoning after I make it, about how it could be used and how it could be, what can I suggest? What can I suggest to people?
Sure.
And that's always growing, it looks like, at this point. So
that's
I think
kind of fun too.
It is fun. So those become like as far as like a favorite. I know you didn't ask this, but like a lot of times people ask like chefs or cooks like what their favorite dish is, and like I always say, it's the dish that I haven't made that somebody suggested that I try with one of the seasonings. And it's like this new way of trying the seasoning on something that I didn't expect is the most exciting for me because it's interesting, because it's something new that I haven't experienced before. And that brings me like the most kind of like joy in cooking.
Awesome. So for those individuals that maybe want you to experience that, where could they send their recipes to with how they've included your seasonings?
Well, you can send it to me. There's a contact page on our website, newsletter, so you can sign up for the newsletter, the skillet, or you can send me a message. And so, yes, sometimes people send me some messages right there. And sometimes I ask, like when we send the orders out, like I'll ask, I'll send them a little email and be like, and sometimes people respond, sometimes they don't, but I ask because I'm curious. Plus, it's, it's nice, it's friendly, it's like customer relationship is good,
Yeah,
right? It's important. And
I
I
think
can do
so.
that now. We're not like big, so I can have those types of relationships, I think.
I love that aspect when I order from a company that's like a small business, when I get like a little handwritten note or a little like something that made it more personal or made it like, oh, I bought this from somebody who's really appreciating it. This is really supporting them, and this is really a cool, it becomes this elevated experience. So
Right.
I really love that about what you're able to do with your seasonings with that, where you've
Right.
created kind of a community or kind of a relationship with your
Well, we got
customers.
another, yeah, we have another thing that we're doing too. So I had a Facebook group, right? And I didn't know what to do with it. I knew that it had value. And so I'd had it out there. And so I came up with this new idea for, for it. And so the Facebook group is going to be rebranded the Skillet. And this is all going to, so I'm telling y'all, but like the episode will be out once it's all like rebranded stuff.
Okay.
And we're calling it the Skillet. And we're going to do this thing called the Skillet Games. So we're going to make a friendly, it is going to be a competition thing, but it's not going to be like, it's going to be more about how can you be creative within this like framework. So I'm going to
Okay.
share the tutorial, and then I'm going to announce what the game is, and then I'll encourage people to share their things and share their stuff. And we're going to talk about different tools. We're going to talk about like take polls. We might do some live streams, kind of like, I guess, like what y'all are doing right now,
Neat.
and do like live tutorials. And because I just wanted to do something different and fun, and everything's been the Skillet. And recently, like, we're just kind of rebranding all this kind of stuff to the Skillet, like wherever there's a group or email list or thing. Yeah,
That sounds fun.
it's
Yeah.
fun.
Well, I just have to say, the last hour has gone by so fast.
Has it?
Um,
Is it an
yeah,
hour so far? It's almost 9.
yeah. But I have to say, I love your perspective. I love the fact that you're taking so much more of a teaching approach and getting people invested in their own cooking, and then also making sure to give them the confidence in order to do that cooking, while at the same time you've got some incredible spices that I can't wait for our audience to try. So thank you for sharing your expertise and your insights with us first and
Yeah.
foremost.
Thank you.
My
That,
second, oh, my second part of this is to ask a question that has nothing to do with anything we've talked about thus far, which
okay.
is, if you're sitting down to lunch with anybody in the world, who would be sitting on the opposite side of that table from you?
Um. So you know who came to mind
Hmm.
when before because you kind of fielded this question a little bit before we got on the thing, and I was struggling with this, but right before that started, this name came up in my head, and it was Benjamin Franklin.
Hmm.
Okay.
And he seemed to be like, the stories about him is he's kind of like a wild ass weirdo. And so we think about all these people being, um, well, it was 250 years ago, 300 years ago when they were around, but like, he had all kinds of wild ideas and invented all these cool things because he was curious. And he was also someone who, signed the Declaration of Independence, wasn't a politician. So that, I think that's really interesting, is like, he was so important to the situation, even though he wasn't like an official. And I find that really interesting because I go like, well, why, like, how do you, how do you be this guy that just shows up? He's like, I'm here, I'm in the middle of it, but I have nothing to do with it. And also, I think it's interesting, like, I want to ask him, like, why the hell do y'all think you were going to like getting a war with these British people. Like, what the, like, that's pretty crazy. At the time, think about how crazy that is. Like, we're just going to do it. We're just going to, like, screw it. We're going for it.
Especially against an entire country. Like, that feels really lofty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And in England being like, basically, you know, you're basically like signing your death warrant in a way. But that's the perception. And so I found that really interesting. Like, to have that confidence that you're going to be like, that's very confident that, like, I'm not, you know, whatever political view you have, that, I mean, that might be something else, but like, I find that that's really kind of, I think that that's determination can be applied to anything. I think that if you set your mind to anything is possible, I guess is, and I'd like to talk, you know, learn that, whatever that skill is. What is that skill where you have curiosity mixed with knowledge and like just the ability to just go for it with all costs?
A romantic.
You like, like what's your, yeah, like we're gonna just like, if we lose, we're dead. There's no, you're not losing my house, I'm not losing my car, I'm not losing my thing, I'm losing my life. And that's just kind of, that's, I think that's really interesting.
And that was before Google Maps, so like they didn't quite know what they were getting into.
Right. They didn't know that it was like this gigantic place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I think that's an incredible answer.
It is, yeah.
And I have to say that is a very original answer. I have never heard that on this podcast before, and that is a great answer.
Yeah.
But again, thank you so much for being on the podcast with us here today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is fun. I'm glad that I got the opportunity to talk about stuff because it's always fun. I always find that like podcast hosts are like the nicest, most friendly people. Mm-hmm. It's true. It's because you're just like so inviting and you're so curious, and you there's always these moments where you're like really connect with the people, like, and it's just really awesome. I'm really enjoying this like part of my awareness journey, just talking to people about food and stuff.
We're enjoying it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are.
I will be documenting my journey about how to not ruin French fries.
How to not burn soup.
How to not burn soup. Well, it's just like, it's French fries are one of those things. It's kind of like the baking thing. Mm-hmm. You really, you can't mess with French fries. Like you can't like go, well, we're going to change it a little bit. This doesn't work. You have to do it specific steps, or you just end up, they're either too brown or they're too soggy, or they're like, you know, burnt on the outside and raw in the middle. Like every step matters. Mm-hmm. And so I think, I don't know. I guess I'm just having this realization right now that like, for you to want to be able to cook, you kind of have to be curious. Mm-hmm. You can't just be like, I guess to be good at it, you kind of, or to enjoy it, you have to have a curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
Very much so.
I would agree. Well, you can find the fry tutorial and many others at Lucky Cajun Seasoning on YouTube. And you can also go to theluckycajun.com to find the rest of the seasonings.
Can I have one last pitch before we go?
Yeah, please do.
So the bestsellers bundle, if you order that, you automatically get $10 off, and you free shipping on your first order. And any order over $30, you get free shipping as well. So if you haven't signed, if you're not on you've never seen us before, and you go on there, get the bestsellers bundle, which is really great, versatile pack, and you can get $10 off.
That's super worth it.
Yeah, and it's not right, and you don't have to know any code. It's automatic.
It's just automatic
for first-time buyers.
So nice for everybody.
You can go on there with another email address and do it again if you want, I guess.
Oh, look at that! You're telling people how to hack it.
They have to watch the whole video to get that secret trick, though. So if they've listened this long, then whatever. Then good.
Then this is worth it.
It's worth it. Like we're giving a little golden nugget at the end.
It's worth it to try fresh ground seasonings if you haven't before.
There's no comparison. You can't compare them.
Yeah.
anything else. It just doesn't exist.
As we close this episode out, we want to thank so much for you for tuning in today, for enjoying our podcast here. Please go support Blackwell and the Lucky Cajun Seasoning Company. You can find additional episodes from the Modern Romantic Podcast wherever you get your podcast. You can also find past episodes on our website, themodern.com. If you're able, we do have a Patreon that you can go and find some behind-the-scenes content where we will not share anywhere else except there. Just a little fun behind-the-scenes moments. Search for The Mod Rom on Patreon. Thanks so much for tuning in.